Good morning, Year 3, and welcome to Wednesday's lesson. So we are going to make a list poem today. We made a list poem last week, but we're going to incorporate the game I Spy with it today. So, out of the window, I spy. Obviously, we spent a lot of time in lockdown over the last couple of months. So I don't know about you, but I've spent a lot of time looking out of my garden and looking through the window, wishing I was outside. So after a while, when you look outside and really look, you start to notice things that you've not really seen before. So I know when I've looked out in my garden, usually I'm not looking so specifically at things, but obviously being locked in the house, I have been. Or when I went to the park, because I hadn't been out for so long, there was just things that I noticed that I would never really notice before. To be honest, most of the things were to do with nature and animals that I just never taken any notice of. So after a while, I started to notice that things I'd not really seen before. I have two robins who live in the garden, but they don't like each other. So robins are a type of bird. There is one scruffy robin and the other is well kept, and they argue quite a lot. So I watch these robins. Usually I don't take any notice of them, but I was watching them interact with each other. Also at my mum and dad's house, and they've got a big tree in the back of their garden. And ever since I was a child, squirrels have lived in that tree. And it's quite interesting to just sit and watch the squirrels sometimes as well. So I thought I would write a list poem about the things that I can see out of the window that interest me. To make the poem more interesting, I chose secret things that no one else would spot unless they had spent a lot of time looking. This poem is another list poem, but it's about real things. I call it I Spy because of the old game. Remember, I Spy with my little eye, something beginning with. But I don't want you to play the game I Spy. You can if you want. You might live in a building where you can't really see much out of your window. So it's okay to make it up as long as it's real, as in it's something real in this world and not like a unicorn, because that's not a real thing. But if you haven't really been able to look out of a window much due to where you live, or there's not really much going on in your garden, you can make things up as long as they're real to this world. Okay, so 6 things that I spy. I spy a shadow shifting by the Buddleia butterfly bush. So that's a type of plant, and I'm saying that I can see a shadow moving by it. I spy sunlight slicing through the fencing. I spy the way buses shudder as they pull up at the bus stop. I spy John the postman's footsteps as he paces Silver Street. I spy the tiniest red money spiders crazily wandering on the red brick wall. I spy the rusted sign of Sharky's Chippy Creek and squeak when the wind blows. Now, all these things I can't see out of my window. So, for example, in my garden, I can see the bush, I can see the sunlight coming through the fences. Now, the buses, the way they shudder when they pull up to a bus stop, is something that I noticed when I was walking to the park the other day. I spy John the postman's footsteps as he paces Silver Street. So I don't know that my postman's name is John, I've just made that up, but I can see his footsteps when I look out the window. And I spy the tiniest red money spiders crazily wandering on the red brick wall. When you go outside on my house, I can always see red money spiders climbing up the wall. And this bit, I spy the rusted sign on Sharky's Chippy Creek and squeak when the wind blows. Now, Sharky's Chippy is a made-up chippy, but sometimes when you go by the shops, when you're walking past them, the signs blow in the wind, don't they? So what I'm saying is, it doesn't have to necessarily be something you can see in your garden. You can make it up, but from the park or places you've been recently. Now it says, notice I have named things. Complete the spaces in those sentences, checking how I named each item. The first one is done for you. So it says, I didn't write bush, I wrote a Buddleia butterfly bush. I didn't just write the postman, I said, if we look, John the postman. I didn't just write the road, I said the name of the road. I said it was Silver Street. I didn't just write spiders, I said red money spiders because that's the name of the spiders. I didn't just write the chip shop, I wrote Sharky's chip shop. So I'm naming each item. So there's a name for the bush, name for the postman, the name of the road, the name of the spider, and the name of the chip shop. When you're writing, you can make things sound more real and build the picture for the reader by naming things. So instead of just saying, I spy a red flower in the garden, you might say, I spy a red poppy in the garden. I spy a red tulip in the garden. These are all types of flowers. If you don't know the names of flowers, you could just Google names of flowers, or if it was a specific insect, you could Google the names of insects, or ask a sibling, or ask your mom and dad. It says writing tip. Try to name things. So don't write it's what I've just said. Don't write a flower, but name it. Example, a poppy, a daisy, or a rose. Naming things helps the reader to see what you're writing about. You are trying to notice details, bringing them alive for the reader and making them sound real. So here, where I said I spy John the postman's footsteps, then I add more detail as he paces, which means walks quickly, Silver Street. So I'm giving you more detail. I'm naming the street. Here, I'm saying I spy the rusted, which is describing it, sign on Sharky's chippy. Then I'm adding more detail. What's it doing? It's creaking and squeaking when the wind blows it. Here, I'm not saying I spy the sunlight. Obviously, you can't name the sunlight. The sunlight doesn't have a name. But I'm not saying I spy sunlight. I'm giving more detail. What's the sunlight doing? It's slicing through the fences. So I want you to name things, if you can, give them specific names, and tell me what they are doing, what you can see them doing. So you're going to write 6 of your own things. Each one is going to start with I spy, and then you're going to tell me what each thing is doing. Okay? Have a go at that. If you get stuck and need any help, message us on Purple Mash on the blog. I'll speak to you tomorrow. Bye.